There should never be a time where you come into the house of the Lord and sit down and just spectate. Can I be used tonight? There should be no way, there should be no reason why you come into the house of the Lord for the wrong reasons except to give God glory and to receive something from Him. We come to church for the wrong things. We come to church for the wrong things these days. We come to church to see what my neighbor is wearing. Or is my favorite preacher coming to preach? We come to church to see how many praise works they're going to have. Well, sorry to bust your bubble tonight, but I don't care how good you can dance. Or how long you can dance. I'm about 5'8.5" and about 290 pounds, and yeah, I can dance. Don't let my weight fool you, but it's not in your dance. I don't care, and I said it last night when I preached at my church, I don't care if you can heel toe, and shuffle all the way to Buffalo. I don't care. It doesn't make you anointed just because of how good you can dance. It doesn't make you anointed just because how good you can sing. But when we come to the house of the Lord, we need to come to the house of the Lord with expectancy in our hearts. Amen. Expecting something from God, not to spectate, not to sit there in judgment of who's preaching or who's singing or who's doing what in the service, but to all get together and give God praise. I see y'all Am I talking? Am I saying something? I don't want to be in a service that all people is doing is sitting in judgment. Because where you sitting in judgment, where are you leaving God any room to move? We got too many fleshy saints. Got too many saints who get up in the mic and just because they know how to do all the risks and runs, they feel it makes them better than their neighbor. But like I said last night, we are all servants. We are all here to serve. This is not in my message, but I just want to encourage somebody and let you know that it's not over. It isn't the end. Let me just get about 10 people to just lift their hands and say, Lord, I thank you. And that, Lord, I thank you, that's more than just words, that's action. I can say it. I can say, Lord, I thank you, Lord, I thank you, until I'm blue in the face, but my actions speak louder than words. When I can lift my hands and say, Lord, I thank you. I'm sorry, I do no protocol. That's right, Apostle. That's right. I want to let somebody know that God made a promise. God made a promise. I preached at my church last night. The power of choice. And my subtopic was, a promise is a promise. And he kept his. I'm not going to preach that tonight. But I do want to let somebody know. And this is going to make sense in a few minutes. That don't ever think because of your title, because of your fancy clothes, fancy shoes, that it guarantees you a seat in heaven. materialistic things. And we think just because we drive in a nice Mercedes Benz and we got our own private jet and we got all the money in the world, right? God bless your heart. You can take your private jet, your Mercedes Benz, and all your money and take it where exactly where you're going, straight to hell. Straight to hell. We're going to the word, 2 Kings, the 20th chapter, starting at the first verse, going down to the 11th verse. When you have it, declare by saying, I have the word. If you don't have it, say, wait on me. Go wait. I just thank God for this opportunity. I'm gonna get our sister Rebecca, because she last night, I believe, she posted this video from last year, 2 years ago. And you know, I wasn't this big, but you know, I had on an off-white and gold robe on, and it was a great service. But I'm gonna get her because I watched it. My voice wasn't all there, and it sounded like I was choking. Praise Him. But we give God glory. Does everybody have the word? Amen. And it reads, sing this. In those days which Hezekiah was sick unto death, and the prophet Isaiah the son of Amos came to him and said unto him, thus saith the Lord, set thine house in order. Someone say, set it in order. Set it in order. For thou shalt die and not live. Verse 2 declares, then he turned his face to the wall. God, I feel like preaching a little bit tonight. And prayed unto the Lord, saying, I beseech thee, O Lord, remember now how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept and sore. And it came to pass, for Isaiah was gone out into the middle court, that the word of the Lord came to him, saying, turn again and tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people, thus said the Lord, the God of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer. He's listening, he's listening. I have heard thy prayer, I have seen thy tears. If I can pause there real quick. That I have seen thy prayers. I have heard thy prayers and I have seen thy tears. I come to encourage to someone that might feel a little lonely or discouraged, that God hears your prayers. And I know you've been praying about a few things, and I know you've been fasting about a few things, and I know things is going a little crazy in life, but he sees your tears that you've been crying late in the midnight hour. So don't feel upset because you feel like you're all alone, but God is always gonna be right there. Amen. Somebody say hallelujah. Hallelujah. I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will heal thee. I will heal thee on the third day. Thou shalt go up unto the house of the Lord, and I will add unto thy days 15 years. And I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Azariah. And I will defend this city for mine own sake, and for my servant David's sake. Pausing right there, you realize in this text you see it says for my sake. Yes. The reason why things go and God allows things to go a certain way is not because of our sake, but his name's sake. The reason why his word shall never return unto him void is because of his name's sake. Understand this, people of God. His name is on the line with everything that he does. If he said he's a healer and doesn't heal, people's going to say, well, there was a time where he did not heal. And there was a time he did not deliver. Moving on, and the verse 7 says, and Isaiah said, take a lump of figs, and they took it and laid it on the bowl, and he recovered. Verse 8 says, and Hezekiah said unto Isaiah, what shall be the sign that the Lord will heal me? And the Lord, and that I shall go up into the house of the Lord the third day. I know this is a lot of scripture, but it's not going to make sense in a little while. Verse 9 declares, and Isaiah said, the sign shalt thou have of the Lord, that the Lord will do the thing that he had spoken. Shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees or back 10 degrees? Verse 10 says, and Hezekiah answered, it is a light thing for the shadow to go down 10 degrees, nay, but let the shadow return backward 10 degrees. Closing at the 11th verse. And Isaiah the prophet cried unto the Lord, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backward, by which it had gone down to heal to the dial of us. Father God, in the mighty name of Jesus. Lord God, we thank you for this time. You've allowed us to sit behind your sacred desk. Father God, we ask you, Lord God, that Jonathan decrease, God, that you may increase. God, through this service, we ask that souls be saved, set free, and delivered. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, Father, we ask, oh God, that your people be edified, that you be glorified, and that the enemy be horrified. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, we pray, God. Give us insight and clarity into your word now. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Hallelujah. I would like to preach for the next about 10 minutes from the subject, your condition is not your conclusion.
All right.
Someone tell somebody, your condition is not your conclusion. People of God, I struggle with this message, by the way. On my way here, on our way here from Harlem, we was in the car, and then while we're driving, you see a lot of things that are going on. But I found at a time that the Lord tends to give me certain messages when I get to the church and or when I'm on my way en route to the church. I was in the car and God started to speak to me, and that's when I started to write this sermon. Through this sermon, I pray that it bless somebody. In this passage of scripture, here we are in this 20th chapter of 2 Kings. The 2 Kings. And I come to tell somebody that no matter how long you have lived with your condition, no matter how long you have been faced with your condition, it is not your conclusion. This word condition is defined in a good friend to ours, the Webster's Dictionary, as a mode of being or form of existence of a person or thing, a state at a particular time. Now, what we need to understand, people of God, as Christians, is that whatever condition you may have, God has a remedy for your condition. It is not what you have, but what He can deliver you from and bring you into. As the people of God, we kind of get mixed up and we kind of get discouraged on what we're going through and not what God can deliver us out of. If you can be transparent with yourselves, we have all been at a place where we felt like God has left us.